You say you want more money, a better body, maybe even a partner. But be honest, what action have you taken to get closer to that? And if all you can say is scroll, plan, or think about getting ready, you're not taking action, you're waiting. And what you're waiting for is the perfect time to take action, and that's what's holding you up. So what are reasons you say to yourself for why you're not doing what you want? So maybe you want to read more, maybe you want to get in the gym, maybe you want to start a business or learn a skill or create something. Whatever it is, whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do, you're not doing it. Why? What are you telling yourself? Maybe it's too late. Maybe you just don't feel like it. Maybe, oh, today's your birthday. Maybe you just forgot about it. Like whatever reason you can say, we can all point it back to you just wanting things to be perfect, literally. Because if it wasn't too late, then maybe you would have done that thing. Why? Because now it's the perfect time. That's the thinking that's going behind this. You might not be aware of it, but that's the thinking, and that's what's slowing you down. My cat wants my attention. I don't know if you can hear him meowing outside my door, but let me pause the video real quick and see what he wants from me. All right, I'm back. He just wanted a little bit of pets. Now he's tired of me, so I can get back to recording. So, like I was saying, a lot of the reasons we don't do what we want is because it's just not how we see it. Like, it's not the perfect thing we have in our mind. So then we just wait until it's the perfect setting to get things done. But the problem is, life is full of imperfections because life is random and it's always changing. And so you're trying to wait for the perfect moment when you're never going to get that because life is inherently random. It is chaos. So if you really want to do what matters to you, if that's make more money, get the build the body you want, find a partner, learn a skill, whatever it is, you gotta learn how to do it within the imperfections of life and within the chaos of life because that's all you're gonna get. And this is something I've become low key a pro of doing. No matter how chaotic life can get, no matter what comes up, I'm always able to put some work, put some time in on what matters to me, which is making content. That's why I've been so consistent. I remember back when my brother was coming home for Christmas and he was gonna be home for like the week. I called him to figure out what time he was gonna be back, or what day he was gonna be back, because I knew I needed to record videos. That's the most important thing to me. But if he came home, I wasn't gonna record anything because the bro is home. We're gonna chill. We're gonna relax. So I made it my priority to get all my videos recorded. Mind you, I had to record 7 videos before he got back home, and he was coming home very soon, right? So I had to record 7 videos before he got there, and I did that because it was not going to be a perfect content creation week for me. So I was just going to do what mattered regardless and figure out how to fit what mattered within what was going on. And that's kind of how you're going to have to move too. I'm going to show you how to do that, but I just want you to know that this is what's going to happen when you're like an ambitious person and you have goals. You're going to realize working on that goal is not going to be as easy as just working on it. It's going to be realizing you have daily responsibilities you got to handle and take care of. You got a job you got to take care of. You got to clean up the house and clean yourself and then do all these other things. And then by the end of the day, you're like, why did I never get started on what I want to do? It's because you're getting set up in the chaos of life without realizing you have to work through the chaos of life to achieve what you want. So, for you to do this, every night before you go to bed, think about 1 to 3, no more than 3, 1 to 3 things you want to get done for that next day. All right. And make sure you label what matters most to you. So, like, number 1 is the one thing you really want to get done. Number 2 is, okay, I want this done. And number 3 is, if everything else is done, then we'll do that. Okay. So, every night, and you can do this right now with me. Like, just go in your head, rank what's the first thing I want to get done tomorrow, the second, and the third. Now, for me, today is really important to me because I'm going back to work tomorrow. I've been at the hospital since Monday, so I haven't been able to really make content even like write talking heads for videos. So I logged in yesterday at the hospital to knock out some, and I finished some this morning. But I planned out that I want to have all my videos recorded, all my talking heads done, and that's it. There's no number three. Like, these are the two most important things I want to get done today. This matters most to me. So I'm doing this practice myself. Do this practice. It really helps. Now, when you have the 1 to 3 things you really want to get done for the day written out, make that your wallpaper if you made it on your notes, because you want to put this down somewhere. You don't want to just keep this on your on in your head. You want to put it down somewhere. So make sure that if you put it down in your notes, you make that as your wallpaper, or if you wrote it down on paper, put that paper somewhere you can see it twice a day. That's where I have my goal board. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? You can. I have my goal board up here. I see it twice a day. I'm gonna come in the morning, and when I come in at night to put in my numbers for the day. So you just want to be able to see those things, because the more you see it, the more you tell yourself that that's important to you. And so when you have opportunity to do that, you'll actually do it instead of choosing to do something like wasting your time. Like, when you have free time and you're just like, well, what can I do? That's when you'll think, oh, the behavior I wrote down, the number one thing or number two thing I wrote down, because that's important to me and I've been seeing it often. So this is the perfect time for me to do it. People who don't write down what they want to do, though, in those moments when they're thinking, well, what should I do? They're going to default to what's easy. And what's easy is just entertaining yourself. And what are we all surrounded by nowadays? Entertainment. So it's not hard to fall into a hole of watching TikTok all day, or watching TV, or just mindlessly sitting there for like all day doing nothing but mouth breathing and watching stuff. That's why it's so important for you to write these things down and continuously feed it back to yourself, so you know what matters to you, and so you'll be more likely to pick that thing. And another thing is, make sure that whatever behavior, whatever thing you want to get done, what you have, like what you need to do it, is in the environment, right? So, for example, because I know recording videos is something I want to get done today, I made sure that my microphone was here. I made sure my tripod is already set up. I made sure everything that I needed to do to record videos was in the environment. Because if I had to get up and move around and get my microphone out and then get the tripod set up before recording, I wouldn't do it, because we're lazy by nature. We are lazy human beings. And so if things are not easy for us, we're most likely not going to do it. So you want to set up your environment so it's easy for you to do the behavior you want to do. So think about, how can you make it easy for you to do whatever you want to do. For example, let's say you want to stretch more. Well, make sure your yoga mat is out on the floor. Let's say you want to read more. Well, make sure you have your book somewhere out in the room where you're normally sitting at. So when you're sitting there, you'll see the book and then you'll read. You feel me? You feel me? Now, here's where the here's where writing down these behaviors really comes in handy. When something pops up in your day that completely throws you off course, now's your time where you handle that thing. And when you have time left over, look at the list you wrote of the 1 to 3 actions you said you wanted to get done, and focus only on number one. That's it. And if you don't finish number two, number three, if you don't even finish number one, that's fine, as long as you take care of what's chaotic and what pops up, and you return back to putting in some work on what matters most to you. That's all. Lock back in. You don't have to drop every single thing you've worked on because something pops up, which is so common for people. Like, no, you just take care of it, and then you get back to what you want to get done, what matters most to you. That's why you have to prioritize these things, because if you didn't know what was most important to you, then you would probably just jump back to any really nilly thing, and you wouldn't feel proud of yourself going to bed because you would feel like you didn't really do much. And this, like, literally last month, my period came on and it knocked me out for the first day. It knocks me out. Like, I'm done. I'm not really doing anything. And I had planned out my entire day for that. Like, I had planned my entire day out. My period knocked me off completely. And so I slept for most of the day. But one thing I did do when I was up and, like, I'm awake, you can't sleep all day. Like, I wanted to sleep all day, but I couldn't sleep all day. So at one point, I'm up, and instead of just laying there in misery, I was like, well, since I'm here, and I know one of the most important things for me is making sure videos are uploaded. I can't record, I can't write, I'm not doing that, but I can rewatch my videos and edit them and get them ready for posting. So I did that. That was all I did. But it set me up for the next day when I was back on my feet. My period wasn't beating the crap out of me. I was able to do other things and not have to worry about sitting down to watch the videos and get it edited because it was already done. That's the beauty of this stuff. So even when something pops up, you will still be able to take some time to focus on what matters to you. And also, don't be perfect. Sometimes you won't be able to, like I definitely took a break from YouTube when I moved up here. Up until the move, I was chilling. But when we actually moved in, I did take a break. But I came back. And now, normally I don't, but there will be times when you do need to step back. So don't try to be perfect. But don't always make it your default mode to step back when something happens, right? Because then you're never really going to reach your destination. Now, planning the night before does wonders for living with intention. And it helps you figure out how to work on what matters to you, how to work around your daily obligations, because we all have things we gotta do, and that can change on a day-to-day basis. But if you do a nightly planning, then you can account for those day-to-day changes. Because I know some people could want to plan out for the entire week, but like your every day changes. You can't predict the future, so you don't know what's gonna pop up. And even if something does pop up, you can just, once you get it taken care of, if you want to, you can make a whole new plan for the rest of your day, or just default to the 1 to 3 behaviors you want to get done and do them from the most important to the least important. But hopefully you're getting the idea that as long as you know what matters to you and you write it down and you don't clutter yourself and give yourself too much, it'll be much easier for you to choose to live intentionally and invest your energy into what matters most to you instead of living by default and doing what majority of people are doing, which is nothing but just sitting around and going to work and then coming home and brain rotting, and then that's pretty much it. Like, that's not what we want here. Now, a plan is just one part of living by design, but if you want the other parts, including how to influence human behavior, all that good stuff, then feel free to look down in the first link in my description to get my course, Live by Design. And I will tell you one thing before you leave. If you hold on to this need for perfection to the point where if anything pops up, if it's too late, if it's your birthday, if you just don't feel like it, that you don't move forward, you will stay in the same place you are. Nothing will change for you. I can tell you that right now. Nothing will change for you, and I don't want that to happen for you. I want you to achieve great things. That's why you gotta be able to work through the chaos of life. And the best way to do that is to write down what matters most to you, taking care of whatever happens as the day goes on, and going back to what matters most to you instead of running all willy-nilly like a chicken with your head cut off. If you like this video, hit subscribe. If you want more, I make more content every week. I'll see you for the next one.